Up YouTube, Logan here. This is the Subconscious Sanctuary, and as you should be a little disappointed in me today. The date is March 25th. Now, if you keep up daily, which I don't think anybody at this point does, except for maybe one person, you'll have noticed it's been 3 days, I think, since my last entry. Now, I have written in my journal, thankfully, since then, but I have not been religiously putting up these videos as I promised I would. Sorry I let you down. If it means anything, I'm going to be creating the ones in that gap today, right now. Right here, right now. And sadly, there's not much to report on, so I think in the next video I'll do some more tips and things like that, but we'll get there when we get there. As for today, this will be the journal entry of March 23rd. Um, this will be following the DMT video, so the night before this, I guess it would have been, I wrote down and recorded the video about DMT. I recorded it, but I did not upload it. That was a really long, really interesting dream, and if you haven't watched that one, I highly suggest you do, especially if you have any interest in psychedelics. A little more psychedelic information than I intended in that video, but it's there sure enough. So, March 23rd. Now, these are going to be some vague memories at this point. It's been a few days, 2 days, and my girlfriend's been here all weekend. That's kind of why I'm using as an excuse why I haven't recorded and uploaded. She's not totally on board yet, though I did mention to her that these are a thing, and it's going to be funny when she goes back and watches these, because at some point I'll show her how many references I make to her not knowing and having to finish quickly because she's coming. So for March 23rd, first thing I wrote was, as I usually do, the setting when I first wake up and how my recall feels. I wrote, power was out. So I remember this is the night the power was out, and that's the reason why I didn't upload the video about DMT. Now this is the following morning where I say power was out, didn't wake up immediately, poor recall. I remember a girl and we bought a power strip. Okay, I'll get into the story in a second, because I do remember more than I wrote down. I woke up late, because all throughout the night I was waking up nonstop due to the power being out. I was afraid I was going to miss my alarms, and if you watch my first videos, you know I've only been 2-3 weeks at a job now. I've been trying to stay on top of my punctuality, and I've been doing well. But part of doing well is, being awake often, or being awake on time, so I woke up all throughout the night. Not great. Now, in this dream, it was not great recall. I think that perhaps if I had not woken up so much throughout the night, or when I did wake up, if I had taken the time to write down what I remembered, which I suggest you do, so here's a preliminary for the next video tip. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you have a crazy dream to write down, wake yourself up, get your mind going, and write that dream down, because the next time you go to bed, I guarantee your dreams are going to be just as vivid, if not more vivid. You're far more likely to become lucid after a scenario like that. Don't know scientifically why. I've got some like hypotheses because of REM sleep and the way your brain cycles work, but I'm not a brain scientist, and I doubt you are, so we'll just say it works, and I suggest that you do it. But yeah, we'll get into the story now. That's the background as to why the story kind of sucks. I gotta stop calling them story. I guess I'll call them journal entries, but that doesn't sound right either. Leave a comment if you think if you have the right word for what I should call them. That'd be cool. I wrote down, I remember a girl and we bought a power strip, and I barely had enough money in it. So, one thing real quick, I do actually remember recording this video. I probably have another copy of something similar, but I'm going to put this one up. Not that you would know the difference. I remember being in like a shopping plaza area. That's the setting here. It's very vague. It was kind of like a flea market, if you've ever been to a flea market, where these are definitely personal people's stores. They're not like JCPenney and Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever. Little tiny stores, and I go up to this kind of rundown one, and for whatever reason, this girl I'm with, this is one of those generic girls, don't know who she is, don't know why she is, just know she is. She needs a power strip, or we come to the conclusion that that's what we need. We feel like we're missing something, or I have that feeling. And I go to pay for it, I open my wallet, and I had just enough money. Like, I had a $10 bill and a $1 bill, I think. This is interesting because the next day at lunch, I went to pull out my $10 bill, and I realized I didn't have a $10 bill. And that's kind of what made me remember this dream. But regardless, we buy the power strip, and then we go on walking down this flea market scenario area, me and this girl and I. Let's see if I didn't miss anything as I recap the next part. I barely had enough money in a mall like shopping area, yeah. So then we go down to another one, and there's an abandoned, block, like you could rent out sections of space. Well, we find one, and it's abandoned. There's some stuff piled up, and there's a homeless kid there. I don't know why we knew he was homeless. He was just hanging out. Like, I hope he wasn't just like a store owner, and we just walked up and assumed he was homeless. But we talked to him for a while. I wish I could remember what we talked about. He seemed important, and yeah, we just kind of hung out, and then we set off to do something. And I think I woke up shortly after this, or my recall stops. But I definitely remember this homeless guy being like phase 2 of the dream here. Yeah, I didn't even finish my sentence when I woke up. I wrote, met a homeless guy in another, and that was it. So, sadly, that's all for that night's recall. I hope you guys have been staying on top of your dream journaling, and if you have, that's awesome. If you haven't, continue, just march ahead as the best you can do. Clearly, I have not been staying on it the best I could these last 2 nights, or well, last night according to this journal entry, but tomorrow, or well, right now I'm about to record the next video, which is also not on time, and then we'll be all caught up. And Monday through Friday this week, I promise you guys some on-time videos, because that DMT dream really was super immersive, and there was about 6 different times where I almost became lucid. And if you've been following up to this point, even if it was just semi-following, you should be definitely seeing the increase in your dream recall, your lucidity to a minor extent, perhaps not fully lucid, but such as I was in that dream, just kind of consciously making decisions and questioning things here and there. And also, don't forget to be questioning everything in your waking world. Do reality checks constantly. Do one now if you want. My most common one, I guess I'll restate here, I like to plug my nose and breathe in. In the comment section, you'll find Sense of Pride 1, one of my followers, or I don't know what to call you guys, but someone who's been watching my videos and commenting, thank you very much. He just had his first lucid dream due to that technique. So, as he's done, as I've been doing, plug your nose and try and breathe in. This feels weird, but when you do it in a dream, it'll feel very natural. You'll breathe in, and that'll just kind of trigger the, of course this isn't real. Whereas a lot of times I'll do a reality check, or I'll question my surroundings, and for whatever reason my brain will just be like, yeah, that's logical, you know, that flying elephant there, that makes sense. But when it comes to breathing through your nose when it's plugged, that one is usually, no, that doesn't make sense. Why is this happening? Um, that's all for today. Hope you guys have a good night and lucid dreaming. Peace.